Well, it is exactly 10 o'clock. Welcome to our second edition of UBC News Tonight. I'm Loreen Masaka Kazimoto and Muhammad Mugalu Sign Language Interpretation will be joining us in a bit. We'll start off this newscast with top bosses of political parties rushed to Kasese to drum up support for their flag bearers contesting for Busongora South constituency. Now, the National Resistance Movement National Vice Chairperson for Western Uganda, Dr. Chris Baryominsi, campaigned for their flag bearer Gideon Mujungu, while DP President Norbert Mao campaigned for his candidate Bernadette Bosinje. Meanwhile, FDC's Patrick Amuriat and officials from FDC were also in the district to canvass votes for their flag bearer.
It's only 4 days for Busongora South constituency to go to the polls, and candidates are now busy hunting for votes in the hills and valleys of Kasese. National Resistance Movement candidate in the company of the party's National Vice Chairperson Western Dr. Chris Baryominsi campaigned in Nyakabingo sub-county, preaching the message of better service delivery once Gideon Mujungu is elected.
Very few people know, for example, that here we have 2 sub-counties on this plateau. As you are here, this is in Mahango sub-county on a plateau. This one here. And as we are here, this is in Nyakabingo on this part of the plateau. 2 huge sub-counties on the top of the mountain. When you are in Grembe, you cannot see it. When you are in Charumba, you can't see it. When you are in Muhokia, you can't see this ground. This is a huge plateau with a huge population. So, we don't have sufficient service. And I want to request you honestly that you help to get us scholarships for these young people.
Dr. Baryominsi appealed to the people of Busongora to send a candidate of the ruling NRM party for easy coordination with the government.
This is an area which has in the past been dominated by the opposition, but I think there is a wave of change towards NRM, as you can see. We are campaigning for the Honorable Mujungu Gideon in this by-election, and we are poised to win massively in Busongora South, including here in the highlands. We need special attention, to pay special attention to this area. They need services. We should improve the road network here because it's difficult terrain, but also we need to give them secondary schools.
I am a DP. I've come to campaign for DP.
Meanwhile, DP President Norbert Mao campaigned for his candidate Bernadette Bosinje in Muhocha sub-county, urging the people of Busongora to try a female MP since men have not done enough to help them improve services.
We don't want leaders who will keep quiet in parliament. I understand you have MPs, but they are not talking. This is a time to vote for a young person. You need a young person.
Other party presidents like President Museveni and that of Loop Principal Robert Chagulani are also expected in Busongora to drum up support for their candidates next week. Busongora South residents will be voting for a new member of parliament on 18th August after court threw out NRM's Gideon Mujungu on allegations of election malpractice during 2021 general elections. Philip Aguta and Moses Mutavali for UBC News in Kasese.
The State Minister for Luwero, Rainstorm Triangle, Alice Kaboyo, has warned of environmental destruction. The minister was delivering relief items to families in Chesiga Parish, Chanamukaka Sub-County, Masaka District, who lost their property during a recent rainstorm. The former Vice President, Edward Chwanuka Sekandi, also attended the function and applauded government for fulfilling its pledge.
At the beginning of this year, a rainstorm damaged crops and other properties in Chesiga village, Masaka district. Prime Minister Robin Anabanja visited the area and pledged government support towards the affected persons. The Minister for Luero Triangle, Alice Kawoyo, accompanied by the former Vice President Edward Sekandi, delivered relief items to the affected families. Kawoyo explained that the heavy rains and floods were as a result of climate change. The minister advised the beneficiaries not to sell their items donated to them.
We have handed over to the leaders, and we trust that their leaders will guide them well. I doubt that they will set them.
The former Vice President Edward Chwanka Sekandi applauded government for fulfilling its pledge to support rainstorm victims in Chesiga Masaka district. The RDC of Masaka district, Topista Senkungu, says that after heavy rains, the area is now experiencing drought. The beneficiaries appreciated government support. $500 iron sheets and 1,200 hose were given to the affected families. Joseph Okow and Andrew Sebira, UBC.
The Assistant Bishop of Kampala Diocese, Bishop Hannington Mutebi, has urged Ugandans to ensure Kampala capital city a clean city for all. Bishop Hannington communicated this as Kampala Diocese carried out a community outreach to the people of Kampala ahead of a celebration celebrating 50 years of its existence. We have the details.
As they wait to celebrate the 50 years of preaching the Word of God, come 21st August 2022, Kampala Diocese is still carrying out community events leading to the D-Day. Kampala Diocese Christians first engaged in a health exercise at All Saints Cathedral, Nakasero, before engaging street people with the gospel. From here they proceeded to streets of Kampala, while preaching the Word of God.
Lord, we pray that this city shall gain prosperity, that men and women that know God shall prosper.
The Assistant Bishop of Kampala Diocese, Bishop Hannington Mutebi, was the chief worker. Bishop Mutebi prayed for peace in the country and for the capital city and urged Ugandans to ensure Kampala city as an example to other cities.
We pray for the prosperity of Kampala because this is where we do our business, this is where we earn our living, and want to see that the city is transformed, the city is peaceful. So as we people who believe in prayer, it's our prayer that God will transform this city.
Bishop Hannington Mutebi also asked the Ugandans to keep Kampala city clean, which will help to address diseases resulting from poor hygiene in the city.
All of us, we are the beneficiaries of this city. We have to be responsible people and want to see a well-organized city. So we are going to work hand in hand with KCCA and all of us, so that when you walk in this city, you see sanity, and then you feel blessed and say, this is my city.
President Mothers Union, Kampala Diocese, Elizabeth Caroline Chikoyo, advised parents to be responsible for their children during this holiday. Chikoyo also had a message to women engaging in prostitution on streets of Kampala.
We should have time for them, love them as they are, and at the same time instill godly values in them. Those who work in the markets, who work on the streets, who work in offices. Even if you're in the street as a prostitute, when you come to the Lord, He will transform you.
After the walk, Christians gathered at St. Paul's Church, Makele Hill, for the main service. The Bishop of Namirembe Diocese, the Right Reverend Bafos Kitoluwaira, will be the guest preacher, and President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni will be the chief guest. Deborah Namamonde, Susan Nabugude, UBC News.
Physical therapist from Kampala's School for Physically Handicapped says a number of children with physical disabilities allegedly passed on due to negligence by parents during the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, this was during a training of parents living with disabled children on how to care and handle these children.
People living with disability were among the most affected persons at the height of COVID-19. During the outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic, 3 children living with disability allegedly lost their lives due to the negligence by their parents during lockdown.
Many of them had reduced range of motion in their joints. They could not move their joints as freely as they used to. Many of them have not been receiving exercises, so their muscles had become weak. Then at worst, some of them had got pressure sores, which took the lives of some as well. These are wounds that keep eating the body, and they are due to restriction of blood flow in that area. These wounds are very common in patients or children who have lost sensitivity within the saddle region.
Although some parents have managed to take children living with disability to attain formal education, some allegedly do this for the sake of not wanting to stay with them at home.
We have sign language lessons for the parents. We find that out of 160 parents in this school, we get like 20.
Bali expensive nnyo n'okusinga abasigadde. Si kye kintu ekyangu mbuno kati omwana akedde ku makya n'atula mbojja mutola mu ssomero eddala.
Abaana Katonda yabatuwa n'omutima ogwo gumu ng'ayina ensonga ye. Katonda talina lunaku lwakuwa ekintu nga togenda kisobola.
Mary Katushabe, a parent living with a physically disabled child at Kampala School for Physically Handicapped, explains the reason why she decided to take her daughter to school. Like other able children,
saasoma naye nze nina amagulu n'emiki n'emikono. Nengamba omwana wange ono ye talina mikono talina ki talina magulu kati ate naye muleke aleke okusoma.
Inadequate resources and failure by some parents to pay school fees dues, among others, are some of the highlighted challenges faced by schools for disabled children.
Because we depend mostly on that school fees to buy food, to pay for water, to pay for electricity. For them, they say we are investing in our children. I don't know how true it is, but they are negative to their children.
But there is this challenge where we are an education facility. The therapists are medical personnel, okay? So when you get to Ministry of Education and you want them to help you at least probably pay salaries or give you therapists, they'll tell you those are health personnel, we are education. Now when you go to Ministry of Health, they say that is an education institution.
It's against this backdrop that schools for children living with disability have asked government and stakeholders for support.
Government, maybe they can support us to give us more dictionaries because they are sold in the United, to give us more dictionaries, more charts, more support in funding them.
And we are saying if you're going to address the learning challenge of a child with cerebral palsy, it is the therapists that are going to work with a teacher. Then we are requesting that they should consider seconding and paying for salaries of therapists.
According to the research conducted by Uganda Bureau of Statistics, UBC, 12.4% of Ugandan population have some form of disability, implying that approximately 4.5 million Ugandans are persons with disability. Deborah Namamonde, Susan Nabugude, UBC News.
Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Deborah. Now, medical practitioners in Uganda have been challenged to embrace professional avenues of making money with love for effective service delivery as their motivational factor. This appeal follows recent instances of industrial action that saw medics join the other civil servants to demand for salary enhancement from government. Now, speaking at the launch of his book on Friday evening, Dr. John Ekure told fellow medics to stop troubling government as it is also strained financially.
That every profession is an entrepreneur that can be used to make money is a message that Ugandan medical practitioners need to take home. This is what Dr. John Ekure emphasized as his book was being launched in Kampala.
But that entrepreneurship should not be about greed. It should be about service. If you serve the community, money will follow. Try to make things good for the people.
Dr. Ekure is the founder and chief surgeon of Kumi Orthopedic Center. It is a super specialized hospital found in Kumi municipality in the Teso sub-region of eastern Uganda. Ekure says he established this facility without support from any institution, as claimed by some sections of the public.
At one time, there was a Facebook account which was opened in my names, and they alleged that it is Janet Museveni who owns my hospital. They even alleged that President Museveni gave me money to build a hospital. And then somebody said, you cannot succeed outside Kampala if you are not connected to the first family. And I said, this is a wrong story, because I know that I've done this brick by brick with sweat and honesty.
To this he says, any professional can do it, a reason he advises fellow medics to desist from troubling government over salary enhancement.
Government is actually more broke than we think. They are poor. So who can make government rich? It's us. It's us to change our communities, to make more money so that we pay taxes that will help government run well.
Such positivity could perhaps be the motivational factor behind Undeterred. It is the main tagline that he fronted as he wrote and published his book, which readers are already appreciating.
If you read that book, if you come across difficulties like that, reprogram yourself. Don't be static. You are a human being, a spirit, and a soul.
And of course, the things which drive you, which motivate you to be undeterred, can only happen if they are about a good beyond yourself.
Telling stories is one challenge that has been put to the people of Teso as the quest for improved service delivery in the area continues.
And when other people tell our story, it's not as rich as when we tell it.
Through this book, Dr. Kure tells us of his life story, to which some of the people who are privy and those who have read the book know that it was not a life for merrymaking, rather sacrifice and hard work.
Undeterred is a 228-page book written by Dr. John Ekure himself to detail his journey filled with fears, tears and cheers as an orthopedic surgeon.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
Henry Okrut, UBC.
Now, the Vice President, Major Retired Jessica Lupo, has said it is high time Ugandan girl children should get rid of the archaic and detrimental African cultures that subject them to early marriage and female genital mutilation that have everlasting adverse effects. Now, the Vice President Lupo was speaking to the people of Mashiruka Town Council in Ishema District, where she had earlier commissioned a new health center 3 and handed over 20 Frisian cows to various developmental groups in the sub-county. Take a look.
Cultures as Africans. Here in Ankole, we have a culture. And I support the culture of the people of Ankole entirely. But over the years, Lord Bishop, we have cultures which have become obsolete. Why? Because the other earlier culture of taking away the girl child when she's not 18 years, when she's not 18 years and above, is counterproductive. It is very clear that she has not yet completed the education cycle, which is very important in the social economic transformation of our country. So, Lord Bishop, I would like, against that background, to request and persuade the people of Ankole to amend that culture.
The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Local Government, Ben Kumumanya, has hailed government for introducing the decentralization policy of governance. He says the policy aims at easing service delivery and transferring of powers to lower local governments. We have the details.
Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Local Government, Ben Kumumanya, says the decentralization policy has eased delivery of services to the people at all levels, including the grassroots.
Our decentralization policy started with 5 objectives. And the first objective was to transfer real power to local governments and reduce the workload of remote and resourced central officials. The idea was that the central government officials were under-resourced with a lot of constraints, and therefore we needed to offload that power and give it to people who are actually staying with the population. Instead of managing affairs from Kampala for a district like Nabratu or Obongi,
Kumumanya says a lot has been achieved towards fulfillment of the objectives of this policy since it was introduced.
I can also mention that one of the achievements of this decentralization was that when we used to have one center of authority to direct a number of interventions, let's say like recruitment, you would find that the recruitment would be done by central government to cover the whole country. So one of the challenges we have had along the way, for understandable reasons, is that we have not been having a sound financial base. Because of a lot of emerging issues and the dynamic nature of the local government spectrum and setup, our financial base has not been sound. So our hope is that while we have achieved many things, those few which we haven't achieved, if we can have a sound financial base, then we shall be able to go a long mile.
Kumumanya urges all the stakeholders to work together for better livelihoods and the development of the country.
They must direct their efforts, both intellectual and physical, to support the parish development model, because it is the last mile strategy to address issues of socio-economic transformation. And indeed, these technical people are appointed to drive the government agenda, to drive the government policy.
He disclosed this during an exclusive interview with the media at the Ministry of Local Government offices in Kampala. Justin Nakami for UBC News.
Austrian Red Cross in Uganda has established a multi-million fecal sludge facility as a waste management center at MVP refugee settlement in Terego district. A project funded by Austrian Development Corporation at a tune of 750 million Uganda shillings is aimed to improve management of fecal wastes among refugees or host communities and various institutions in West Nile in a bid to promote sanitation and hygiene.
A fecal sludge facility has been commissioned by the State Minister for Relief, Disaster Preparedness and Refugees, Esther Anyakonyi, and representatives from the United Nations High Commission for Refugees and Austrian government. The Secretary General, Uganda Red Cross Society, Robert Kwesiga, explains why the facility was established.
If there is human waste, which we know we generate, as in this case we are talking of refugees, we are talking of host communities, then what is the best way of managing it? You have institutions that really produce a lot of waste. both human and other degradable waste. Schools, marketplaces, hospitals, you can go on and on. So the decision was we can do better in managing this waste, and that's how we came up with this idea of this fecal sludge facility.
Currently, the facility is generating 6 tons of sludge cakes on monthly basis, out of which other bioproducts like briquettes for cooking, manure for agriculture, among others. According to the coordinator for water, sanitation and hygiene at Uganda Red Cross, Gracious Chagawa, plans are underway to generate biogas as one of the products with the help of Makerere University and other international universities.
Yes, with the biogas, it is still under the research stage because we have not installed a biogas unit yet. And so we are working in partnership with Makerere University, the Technical University of Vienna and Austrian Red Cross, and then also the IHE Delft University of the Netherlands, that we shall be able to quantify the current capacity production, and in the upgrading process we are able to talk with the authority on whether we are installing the biogas unit, given the fact that we shall have understood how much is being generated.
State Minister for Relief, Disaster Preparedness and Refugees, Esther Anyuko, says the product is going to help the government of Uganda in environment management.
This project, first of all, we know very well that the government of Uganda is getting a lot of pressure on environmental issues, and so when we look at this project here, it is helping us a lot. That it is serving both the refugees and the host community. It is also serving the institutions within the districts of West Nile. So it is something that we must embrace, and I've been trying to talk to my sister here to see how we should be able to have more.
The Australian Embassy Development Cooperation Head of Office, Dr. Roswis Karemense, was impressed with the implementation of the project and commits more support to Uganda Red Cross Society.
So how I see this partnership, it's a growing partnership, and it is growing because the Red Cross is really giving us the reassurance that the money that we entrust in them from the Austrian taxpayer is really making the difference. We have seen today this facility that is in a first phase serving about 50,000 people, which is not enough. That's why in the second phase it will hopefully be expanded to reach up to 100,000 beneficiaries.
The Deputy Representative, United Nations High Commission for Refugees in Uganda, Bajite Ano, says the project has both the economic and environmental successes.
And it's also used for fertilizers, which can be used for our crop, and all of that will continue in improving the wealth of the people. And it will also contribute in the sustainability of the project itself.
UBC News Tonight takes a very short break but returns with business news after the break.
Vimba! Ni MTN Kabode Super as you pay mpola for this smartphone. Make calls, update your WhatsApp status, watch YouTube, and Google anything under the sun with 2 GB worth of data every month for 7 months. Simply make a small deposit of 99k and pay the balance mpola. You can pay in daily, weekly, or even monthly installments while you enjoy your new phone. So what are you doing today? Visit any MTN shop near you and get the MTN Kabode Super easy.
Oh, Susan, I want to propose to Rose. Yes, and this time I am serious.
Have you guys had sex?
Duh, of course.
And have you had sex without using condoms?
Hey, Nga, you're curious.
I'm more concerned. Are you having sex with other people?
Hey, hello. Is this an interview or what?
No, just things you should think about. Do you know Rose's HIV status?
Okay, this is serious. Should I be worried?
It is actually serious. Do you know your HIV status?
I think I am safe. Many times we get into situations that put us at risk of HIV. However, the first step to ending HIV is getting tested and knowing your results.
It's Time Up HIV. Call 0800-211-046 or text 8080 toll-free for more information about how to prevent HIV.
This message is brought to you by Ministry of Health with support from USAID.
Meet Professor Petero. He knows something every hustler in UG is gonna love.
Oh, see. You say I was just trying to get the documents to register for Airtel Money.
You don't need the documents. You just say for register.
What's going on here? He sells things from the shop, and behind my back, he gets the money and gives it to his girlfriends.
But just get Airtel Money Pay so that all money comes direct to your business wallet and only you, the owner, have access to it. Just dial *185 *10 hash and now you are on. No waiting. Huh? This insanity is sweet. Give them also.
I only take Airtel Money Pay. It's easy and secure.
Yes, become a safer and more efficient cash-free business today. Easy.
Not mixing your business money with your Kameza money. No, that's efficient.
Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Forget last season. Forget the oohs and the ahs. Forget every moment that stole the show. Because the real show is here on GoTV. It's the new season. It's action-packed and it's going to be non-stop football. With over 1,000 games from more than 7 leagues and cup competitions plus a World Cup. Make sure you get the best seat in the house this new football season. Get a GoCoder with 1 month of GoTV value for only 25,000 Uganda shillings and enjoy non-stop football. GoTV Uganda. Love it.
The Presidential Initiative for Skilling the Girl and Boy Child informs Kampala divisions of Rubaga, Nakawa, Makindye, Kawempe and Kampala Central that registration for young girls and boys of the 15 to 35 years age bracket begins on the 15th of August to the 16th of August 2022 and training starts on the 22nd of August 2022 at the following skilling centers: Wandegeya Market, Katanga, All Saints Church of Uganda Mutundwe, Our Lady of Fatima Nakulabye, Luzira Prisons at St. Stephen's Church of Uganda Luzira, Subway Crested Towers Roundabout, Wabigalo Parish Community Hall, St. Andrew's Catholic Church Chigowa Ntinda, and Makerechkoni Community Hall. The registration exercise and the training are free of charge. Requirements include a photocopy of national ID or the guardian's or the parent's ID for minors bearing the LC1 stamp, signature and phone contact, and 4 recent passport photos. For more information, call 0716 144 562 or 0414 343 457 or 0414 343 458.
Cooking with electricity is now affordable. Cook your beans. Avoid smoke.
Masaka. Cooking with electricity is now so affordable with the Fumba tariff set by the Electricity Regulatory Authority. With the Fumba tariff, you can now buy up to 70 units of Yaka at a reduced price of 412 Uganda shillings per unit after consuming your first 80 units of the month. For more information, contact the Electricity Regulatory Authority on 0200 506 000.
Enjoy more GBs for the same price on Airtel. Shareable using to Gabonais. We have increased GBs across all your favorite packs. Now, 4 GB is at 10,000 shillings and 10.5 GB at 22,500 shillings, all valid for a week. For the heavy data users, enjoy 24 GB at 50,000 shillings and 50 GB at 100,000 shillings, all valid for a month. Dial *175 hash or use the My Airtel app to buy these and more affordable weekly and monthly data bundles on Airtel, the smartphone network.
Welcome back from that break. And now into the business scene. Uganda's Civil Aviation Authority has cleared Uganda Airlines to roll out the self-handling project. The authority's general manager, engineer Soma Ayub, handed over the certificate for self-handling to the Uganda Airlines CEO, Jennifer Bamuturaki, in the presence of the Transport Minister, Fred Byamukama, at Entebbe International Airport. Self-handling will involve passenger, baggage and cargo handling, maintenance, security ramp handling, and general ground operations. The airline is now the third accredited operator at Entebbe Airport to offer self-handling services after government cleared the purchase of ground handling equipment. The machinery, which cost government $2.5 million, includes ground power units, unit load devices, air start unit, passenger stairs, portable water unit, conveyor belts, lavatory servicing truck, trolleys, high loaders, pushback truck and tow bars, among others. The airline's director, engineer and maintenance, Ephraim Bajenda, said the new self-handling project will save $250,000 per month, which the airline has been paying to private contractors. Uganda Airlines currently operates a fleet of 6 aircrafts, including 4 CRJ-900 jets and 2 Airbus A330neo aircraft.
Enjoy more GBs for the same price on Airtel. Shareable using to Gabonais. We have increased GBs across all your favorite packs. Now, 4 GB is at 10,000 shillings and 10.5 GB at 22,500 shillings, all valid for a week. For the heavy data users, enjoy 24 GB at 50,000 shillings and 50 GB at 100,000 shillings, all valid for a month. Dial *175# or use the My Airtel app to buy these and more affordable weekly and monthly data bundles on Airtel, the smartphone network.
It's a full-time job to be a great parent or guardian. The decisions we make impact their lives forever, and getting a birth certificate is one of the most important ones. All you need to do is get a birth notification record stamped by a medical officer from the hospital where the baby was born or from the sub-county chief in case it occurred at home. Go to the NERA offices in your area and present the notification record, copy of parent's ID and bank payment slip of 5,000 Ugandan shillings for citizens and $40 for non-citizens. Fill NERA Form 3 while there, and a birth certificate will be issued to you. Please note that birth certificates to refugees born in Uganda are free of charge. For more information, visit the NERA office closest to you or call 0800-211-700. This message is brought to you by NERA.
Vimba! Ni MTN Kabode Super as you pay mpola for this smartphone. Make calls, update your WhatsApp status, watch YouTube, and Google anything under the sun with 2 GB worth of data every month for 7 months. Simply make a small deposit of 99k and pay the balance mpola. You can pay in daily, weekly, or even monthly installments while you enjoy your new phone. So what are you doing today? Visit any MTN shop near you and get the MTN Kabode Super easy.
Welcome back. Now into international news. The verification of results has been stopped several times after complaints by supporters of the main candidates. Kenya's electoral body has limited access to the National Tallying Center in order to speed up the process of verifying presidential results. Anyone who is not a party agent, election observer, or part of the media should leave the venue. The verification results have been stopped, and confirmed results show former Prime Minister Raila Odinga has a slight edge over Deputy President William Ruto. With 93 of the 292 constituencies cleared, he has 52% of the vote against 47% for Mr. Ruto. However, provisional results tallied by media organizations using official data from the 46,000 polling stations show a tight race between the two candidates. Now, Taliban fighters have dispersed dozens of female protesters in Kabul almost a year after the militant group seized power. About 40 women marched through the Afghan capital demanding rights before the Taliban broke it up by firing in the air. The fighters seized their mobile phones, stopping one of the first women protests in months. Since the Taliban takeover, women's rights have been severely restricted. The protesters chanted demands for bread, work and freedom, carrying a banner reading August 15 is a black day, a reference to the day the Taliban captured Kabul in 2021. In the year since the Taliban returned to power, they have issued various orders restricting the freedom of women, barring them from most government jobs, secondary education, and from traveling more than 45 miles without a male guardian. In May, the militants decreed that Afghan women will have to wear the Islamic face veil for the first time in decades. If a woman refuses to comply, their male guardians could be sent to jail for 3 days, although this is not always enforced. There's been many minor protests over the past year, but any form of dissent is being crushed. Well, UBC News Tonight has come to a close. Thank you so much for your company this evening. We will leave you with tomorrow's weather forecast. And my name is Masaka Kazumoto and Mohammed Mugaloon Sign Language Interpretation. We wish you a warm night.
On UBC, my name is Grace Amili with your weather update. We are experiencing isolated thunder showers in most parts of the country, and due to that, we had a high of 57.7 millimeters of rainfall that was across Guru, and 33.2 millimeters of rainfall across Masindi, South with 19.5, Lila with 18.1, Chitugum with 3.6 millimeters of rainfall. Seeing the satellite picture of our country, we are having a weakening over the region of South Africa, pulling in the rain belt into our country, enhanced with moist winds that are coming from Indian Ocean, hence bring us the isolated thunder showers that we're experiencing in most parts of our country. Don't forget the local effects. Tomorrow morning, though, we expect to wake up with isolated showers in most parts of the country, apart from some few areas of Kasese and Ibarra, expecting to have sunny intervals, but afternoon hours we expect a continuation of light isolated showers. Temperature to rise up to 29 degrees Celsius, that is across Kasese, 25 and 24 across the northern part of our country, 25 in capital city Kampala, Highlands, the lowest of 22 degrees Celsius. Is moving out of our country toward the few cities across the globe. We have isolated showers expected across Paris at a maximum of 28 degrees Celsius, Nairobi with cloudy conditions, and New York with sunny intervals, Cairo and London with sunny conditions at a maximum of 34 degrees Celsius. Thanks for tuning on UBC. My name is Kutesa Mili. Stay tuned and see you tomorrow.
The Tales of Kasozi, brought to you by Uganda Communications Commission.
Yes, hello? This is Kasozi. How can I help you?
Calling you from the mobile service center.
Okay. So how can I help you?
Well, we have noticed a few things wrong with your number and need your mobile money PIN.
Ton Ferra, never give out your password or PIN to any caller. Your mobile service provider will never call